Hello guys, we're back again, another video for United States Week 2022, and this time we're talking about my United States model. However, the astute of you might have noticed there's a few differences now. She now has sheer. You may have noticed that the windows are different. If you count, there's only 10 lifeboats now. This is because she is shorter by 9 studs. And she's thinner by 2 studs. She's now 114 studs in length and 12 studs in width at full width and 10 at the waterline because she has the one stud overhang on either side. Now, the reason for this is because I did the calculations here, and let me just do a comparison here for you guys. Did the calculations of what scale American Victory is in because I was curious there. Part of her broke, but we'll focus on that later. Anyways, I did the calculations, and so American Victory is actually in 330 scale, not in 312 scale. So what did I do? Did I make American Victory bigger? No, I just scrapped the United States and made her in 330 scale. I am not joking. I literally, this is not the same model. So, yeah. This is a new United States model right here. So, by the way, before we actually start the video, I just want to get a disclaimer out. I will not be covering history from now on in my mock reviews. Those will be separate videos, like I did with my United States history's most famous yet overlooked ship. That's the history video, and this is the mock review. So those will be going separate. And some ships I make history videos for might not have mocks, so just keep that in mind going forward. Anyways, let's actually start this thing. So, this is my United States in, well, it's completely different compared to the first model. At like a first glance, they look similar because, well, they're the same ship, but there's actually many differences that I'm gonna go over. First of all, she has sheer now in the bow there and in the stern. 2 plates in the bow, 1 in the stern, which is pretty accurate to how much sheer she had in real life. And her promenade windows are different now. In the old model, there was the promenade windows. I used 1x4s, technical 1x4s, like I did here, right? But they were all lined up next to each other. And so since the lifeboats are 4 studs wide, but there's 1 stud gaps between each lifeboat, the promenade windows and the lifeboats desynced and created this really weird looking look. So on this, I fixed that and put 1 stud gaps that are filled in, as you can see, between each porthole. If I zoom in here, you can see that right there. There's 1 stud gaps right there. So, that's actually accurate because for every window she had, there were windows in between her promenade windows. I'll put a photo up on the screen to kind of show what I'm talking about. But, so yeah, this is definitely more accurate now. In the future, I'm probably going to use 1x1 technical bricks to represent those windows in between each window section. I probably sound high right now. That's a really bad explanation, but yeah, I'll show photos up on screen that'll hopefully clear things up for you guys. Her funnels did get smaller, actually. The funnel got a stud shorter to account for the size of the model. Let me zoom out more here. There we go. To account for the size of the model. So, funnels are smaller. Since the last time you guys also saw in my United States, she did not have a boot line. But I was planning to make an update mock review on the United States because a lot of changes happened. And so before she was scrapped, she actually had a boot line. Her funnel positions were completely different, and she was all more accurate since the last time you guys saw her. So I'll throw a couple photos up on the screen now, what she looked like before she was scrapped. So yeah, there is one glaring inaccuracy actually with this model that I really hate, but I can't fix. It's that the lifeboats, she has 11 main ones on each side and 1 cutter boat on each side for 24 in total. This model only has 10 main ones and 1 cutter boat on each side, which It bugs me every time I think about it, but there's not much I can do about it because of the scaling of the model. What I would have done is gotten smaller lifeboats, but I was working with the pieces from the old model, which were supposed to have 4 stud long lifeboats. So that's just kind of how it shaped out. But there is another thing with this model that has been improved over the last one. Here, if we come closer to her, you can see that on this area here, the promenade windows actually stop 2 lifeboats before the cutter boat here, the overhang and all that. It's because of the United States. There was, as part of the United States Navy regulations, she couldn't have any big windows on the front of her superstructure. So if I just turn her around here, yeah, she looks a lot different on her forecastle. Turn around as much as I can on my pretty narrow desk. Here, you can see there's no big windows on the superstructure. It's not many, right? And so, to get around this, Gibbs still wanted to have like lounges in the front because, you know, a lot of liners had that. So he put all the panoramic windows on the side and then cut the promenade off. So this is represented that. She had big windows here, and then they got smaller and then rounded to the front. I'll show photos of that now. And her radar mast has changed a lot. It's a lot more accurate now too. You can see she has her crow's nest right there. And then her 2 sets of radar and the little antennas, or whatever, not antennas, but the little poles that stick off from each side. Her rigging is also much different. You might be able to see it here. Let's come even closer. She has her rigging that she had before, which goes all the way along the length of the model through the funnels and all that. But she also has more rigging. You see here, the mast is 2 lines, or actually it's 1 rope, 1 string here. Black thread that goes in this brick comes up, and I can't probably show it that well here, but it goes around this cylinder here. Stabilize the mast. Goes around this cylinder, comes out on the other side, and goes under that plate on that side. So it's actually 1 string. The funnels also have more strings too. They're stabilizing wires, they're guy wires. So there's 4 in each funnel, which are actually 2 strings that go through the top of the funnel. So yeah, she has her guy wires now and her mast supporting wires, which I really like. Detail is immaculate on this model. So yeah, definitely a lot of changes there. I also was able to find a way to represent her tennis courts by putting these little grill pieces on their side in the nets. So she had 1 big one here between the funnels, 2 here, and 1 here. And there is 2 things I want to talk about. So you can see that her bridge and forward funnel housing aren't connected. And the way on her fantail over here, yes, it's still called a fantail even if she has a cruiser skirt, there is no tennis court represented. Now, this is kind of a big thing I've been dealing with for a while. It's that at some point in her life, she went through a refit that connected her bridge and her forward funnel housing. So it went from looking like this to that. And then in some photos, she has deck chairs over on her fantail. And then other photos, she has a tennis court there. So I haven't been able to really figure out which one I wanted to do. But on photos of her maiden voyage, she had no connection between her tennis court and her bridge and her forward funnel housing, and no tennis court in the fantail. You can tell this isn't scripted, but so she didn't have those things. So since this is maiden voyage configuration, I didn't have them. So yeah, the portholes are also more accurate here. If we come down lower, you will be able to see them. I use grill pieces. So I used the same thing I did on the last model. Maybe able to know, if you've seen the last model in depth, you probably know that I use grill pieces for the portholes, but I made them more accurate here. So there's, instead of just being grill piece, then plate, grill piece, and then like interchanging, they're actually spaced out correctly. And they even go all the way to the front here. Like that. And also, here's another thing a lot of people don't know about United States that I was able to represent on this model. Her forecastle, everything forward of her her water brake thing here was actually dark. It was like a dark gray. It was like a bluish gray. Pretty much the same color as this piece here. So I represented that as well as I could. Her forward flagpole's also here as well, which is very nice. Definitely wanted to include that. I couldn't find another piece small enough to include it, besides this one, which has this little forward bit here, so I just had to deal with that. Another thing is there's this little corridor here. This is because up here, up until about here, was a promenade for passengers. So was here. And so this corridor is for passengers to get around from the port to the starboard side or vice versa. So they would go up here and then through that corridor. There's not a whole lot else to talk about, you know, it's United States. So, yeah, there is actually one more thing I do want to mention here, and that is the nav lights. As you can see, they're up here on the bridge wings. You can see the red one over there. They were actually about, like, right here. I'll show a picture now. But they were actually about right here on the real model. Not a real model, the real ship. And so, that's another inaccuracy. But I did not have the necessary pieces to represent that. So I just put them up on the bridge wings like the last model. And just one more thing to touch on is this model also has a lot more detail than the last one, just a lot more added detail. Her cranes now have their booms. This is a first for all my models. Definitely really happy with that. Actually, American Victory also had them too. So this is kind of based off what I did for her. A lot more bollards are in the right place, right spacing. If I come to a top view here, yeah, the lighting sucks, I know. There's a lot more detailing here with her cargo hatches, which should actually have black tops, not white, but there's only so much you can do about that. If we come back here, you can see there's a lot more detailing. These little grill pieces, I use them to represent staircases. They look like the railing on either side of a staircase. So there's 2 staircases. Below here, this is the raised roof for her cabin class promenade. There's also staircases here. She had 2 little pole things here. This represents her stern promenade. And obviously the booms. And if you come way up, you can see the detail in there. So yeah, that's my United States model. Definitely a lot of differences from the last one, but to be honest, I definitely like it more. I know that's crazy to say considering that my last model did a lot, especially considering she actually went to a convention. I know that's crazy, but I'll put photos up on screen now. I was gonna make a video on it, and then I never did, and now I have a different model, and so it's kind of just a scrapped project. But yeah, she went to a convention, and I did the math. This model has been almost 1,000 kilometers. That's crazy, right? So she went to, when she was in her Olympic configuration, when she was the 1/300 scale big Titanic, then Olympic, you know, when those days, she went to North Florida when I was staying there for a bit, like 2 weeks, and that's where I made my Majestic video. Not the mock review, but like the movie documentary thing. So yeah, pretty interesting. And then she went to the convention in Tampa, and so all that driving actually means this model, if you count her Olympic and her 312 scale configuration, it's been over almost 1,000 kilometers. I think it's like 890, 900 kilometers. So that's pretty interesting. Besides that, I don't have much more to say. There will be more videos obviously coming for United States Week. And there will be 2 more coming on June 8th and June 10th. So stay tuned for those. And yeah. Also, I just want to apologize for background noise. I don't have any soundproofing in my room. So, you know, low budget operation. But yeah. I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. There's a lot coming.